All eyes on Doge. Big run up to the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big run up to the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Sunday afternoon. Had some friends over. We were watching a little football, and now we can talk about cryptocurrencies and Dogecoin. Yes, we had a pullback. We are retesting support. That is the message today, and I will show you that, and we'll look at some other charts and see how everybody's feeling on a Sunday going into this coming week where the Fed is going to cut interest rates and Dogecoin is going to have an ETF launched this coming week. This is huge, but yeah, we got to deal with the little pullback here. So this was the red box that I had that Dogecoin dipped into in the upper 28s. We had a double bottom at 28.2, and I was feeling pretty good because it came off that second bottom, traded back over 29. But then, yeah, overnight, weakness, fell back, tried to come back up again, and then this morning, lost support. Lost the local support there. But where did it end up? It ended up here, back at our last higher low, which was 27.2, and that's what it fell to here, 27.2. So we've got the shorter term double bottom, and then we got a longer term double bottom on the chart. So for those of you who are looking to buy more Dogecoin, you had a nice tasty dip today. Will it drop lower? It could. Now let's look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin did a similar thing. A double bottom at 115.2 for Bitcoin right here. Again, Dogecoin was overbought. RSI was up. So the pullback on Dogecoin was not unexpected. But we are going to watch if Bitcoin recovers from here. And it looks like it is. Bitcoin looks like it is coming back up. And will we see all the way up to 116 again during the live stream? We'll be watching that, because that is going to be the key for Dogecoin right now, is what Bitcoin does. So I also have a green circle right there, which means I bought some Bitcoin. Well, I didn't actually buy it. I didn't actually buy the Bitcoin. What I did was, because of the big move from pump, I took my pump, and it was about right up there on that green candle. That green candle was going up, and I swapped my pump tokens over to Bitcoin, which is it's one of the things I'm doing, is I'm taking the other memes, and once they go on a big run, and I book my profit and I put it into Bitcoin right now. Eventually, it's going to go into a stablecoin gaining interest, or Robinhood Gold if it's on Robinhood. This was on crypto.com, and crypto.com allows you to directly swap a token right into Bitcoin, one trade. So that's what I did. Now, it was the right idea, but a little too soon. Pump is now having its big sell-off. I thought it would happen last night, and we started to see it with the big red candle there. And I thought, hey, Kriss did a good thing, right? Kriss did a good thing. But Pump this morning went even higher and has a new all-time high just under 0.009 right there on pump token. So if any of you have pump token and you held, that's awesome, but now it is showing weakness coming back down. So now it's lower than where I sold it at. So I think I'm okay. I didn't get, you're never going to get the top. And this is a lesson. This is a lesson for you Dogecoin holders. When we get into October, November, and Dogecoin is going up and we see all these green candles and Doge is pushing up, right? That you're not going to time the exact top. Chances are you're not going to do it. So, but, you know, sometimes selling is hard too, right? Sometimes it's hard, but after that big run, that's like a 30% run there. It was like all those green candles. It's like, okay, so I flipped it over to Bitcoin. So that's the Bitcoin green is right there because Bitcoin was going down while pump was going up. And so that's when I did the swap. And so that worked out all right. And now Bitcoin's almost up to the point where I got it at. So, but we'll watch Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin going to continue to recover this evening? Because I think it is. And I think the recovery is bullish into tonight because we already had the big pullback this morning. I mean, Bitcoin pulled back. It brought Doge down with it. So I still have the magnet up here. The magnet is still over 30. I'm not going to bring it down to 29. I'm just expecting Doge is going to get up into the 28s and going to get back up there. So that's what I did. Also, with that pump token move last night, I regained everything I lost on Trump token. Yes, I regained everything I lost on Trump token by that pump.fun big run up, as well as what Pangu's doing. So, and I'll never touch a Trump related token again. So that's where we start. Look, Sudelitic says Dogecoin seems to be taking a breather with the market giving it some room to relax, right? Taking a breather. These consolidation phases are usually signs that the next move is loading. This is in a bull cycle, which I still believe we're in a bull cycle, the 4-year cycles. We're still in it, right? We're still only September. And September is usually a red month, right? It's green this year. It's usually a red month. October and November are the 2 months that are the best performing months for crypto. And we're not even there yet. We're still September. So for Doge now, if a momentum kicks back in, step-by-step targets could follow, which we will be watching those levels, and the 45-cent area doesn't look far off at all. But let's not forget, this is Doge, full of surprises, and as long as it holds support, it can keep pushing forward. So, is Doge going to hold this support line right there? 27.2. 27.2 is support for Dogecoin. Meanwhile, Bitcoin Census is saying, look, if we zoom out and we look at the big moves Doge made early in 2024 and then late in 2024, do we have the next bigger move, the blow off top move for Dogecoin? Is that still coming? And could that be up over $1? This week is a massive one for Dogecoin as we're getting the first ever Memecoin ETF. This could trigger a massive influx of fresh capital into Doge, just like we saw on Bitcoin and ETH. That's awesome. Good for Bitcoin Census to say that. However, even though this is the first Memecoin ETF, It's Rex Osprey. It's just not as huge of a deal. I'm not expecting that kind of move right away. Now, the move is still going to come, but just not right away. But we will be watching that next week. That is going to be a big thing next week. Meanwhile, Trader Tardigrade, he's saying, look, we broke out of our triangle, right? And we're still out. And this is zoomed out on the weekly chart. We're still zoomed out. So right now, typically what you have is the height of the front end of the triangle, and you put that on the breakout, and that should tell you how high this could go in a bull market. So Alan measures the open end of the triangle. He puts it up on the breakout. And where does that take us? It's like $1.70. It's like $1.70. So that would be the bigger move. That would be the bigger move. Vidal has another chart here that's also looking at higher highs. And he's looking at right around $1 on his, right around $1. So we got the stochastic RSI is still down. This is zoomed out on the weekly chart. So that's what is going on. Yes, that's a good point also. If you're worried about this pullback, let's go to a clean Dogecoin chart. Let's go to a clean one. One that's a long-standing one, because I want to go back and see. Use crypto.com, I think. We go to the weekly, and that's the weekly chart. Look at that weekly chart. Again, on the weekly even, we have, puts us in white, right? On the weekly, we have higher lows still happening and higher highs from the pullback. And this was a higher high right over 30 cents. That is pretty strong. We could even maybe chart this, right? We could chart this and say upward channel, right? So that's pretty bullish. That's where we are on the weekly. So zoomed out on the weekly, that's pretty good. So a good week for Dogecoin. We have the weekly close tonight happening in about 3 hours. And Doge is going to be up here probably in the 28s for the close. So that will be the highest weekly close that we've had since, well, since January. It'll be the highest weekly close since January. That's pretty good. Zoomed out. So to go, good comment there, because when you zoom out, that looks pretty good. However, for the purposes of the live stream, I stay zoomed in so we can actually see the price action as it's happening. Because on the weekly zoomed out, you hardly see that candle move. So we will be watching it zoomed in right here. So how you guys doing? Fartcoin, OG squirrel, what does Fartcoin do? Nothing. Just smells. It just smells. Now, Fartcoin did go on a couple big runs, right? And it can probably go on another big run, but it doesn't do anything. It's just the meme. Dogecoin has the whole utility behind it with its own blockchain and the ETF and all of the other things that we've been talking about, like the Dogecoin treasuries. And so Fartcoin will probably go on a nice run sometime this fall, but the pullback is going to be bad. So, Are we going to get out of it? You bought at 29? Yeah, we will. We'll get back up. We'll get back up to 30 cents. Just a matter of time. No, Bitcoin actually went up, Linda. ETH went down when the ETH ETFs launched. But Bitcoin went up and hit a new all-time high before the Bitcoin halving. Launched in January, and by March, Bitcoin hit an all-time high over $70,000. Yep, just a 45-degree uppity line. Exactly. That's right. Zoom out and you see it. CDC is looking at a 41-cent pump. Usually the beginning of the year is green, but was red this year. Yeah. And we can thank Trump for that. Because it was starting off fine. The first couple weeks were great. Going into the inauguration, we were psyched, right? Everything was up, looking good. And then that stupid Trump token was launched. And then he immediately started talking tariffs, and everything went down from there. So, yes, I still have Bonk, William. I'm waiting for October too. Profit is profit. Thank you, Compo. I'll take it. I will take it. I mean, Bitcoin's still the king, no doubt. But Dogecoin's a lot more fun. And Dogecoin does outperform Bitcoin, but we can still call Bitcoin the king. Sure. And I just got more Bitcoin last night. Doge. Greetings, Doge comrades. There's a new token, DOJE. Somebody made a token out of that, probably just to confuse people. Just stupid. People will fall for it. They'll buy it thinking, oh, I'm buying the ETF. It's just a stupid token. God. Fartcoin lets off steam quickly. You saw on Twitter that Argentina is accepting Dogecoin for tax payments. Huh. Really? I didn't see that. Argentina, Dogecoin, tax payments. See what comes up. Just in August 19th, Buenos Aires, Argentina, to allow citizens to pay taxes in Bitcoin and crypto. Dogecoin is now accepted by the capital of Argentina, Buenos Aires, for tax payments. So it sounds like they're accepting tax payments in crypto, and Dogecoin is one of the cryptos that they accept. Because, I mean, it's Bitcoin and crypto. So that's what it looks like it is. But cool. Still cool. Still cool. Hey, Nick, how are you? Can we still expect pump to pump? Right now, pump is pulling back, which is what I expected. I got out of it just a little too soon, but it is pulling back, and it's now lower than where I sold it. So if I had a little more patience, but you know, it had just gone up this huge run. So again, like I say, sell on the green candles, right? So I took my profit, it immediately pulled back, and I was like, hey, that was great timing, Kriss. I might have hit the top. Nope. It went up higher and then higher again. But I was expecting that kind of sell-off to happen. I was just a little too soon. Where did I learn about all this? Soy Mayosa. Just doing this every day for 4.5 years. Just learning, listening, reading. Just learned it all along the way. That's how I did it. Dogecoin is like Bitcoin, but with a dog. Yes, it is like Bitcoin. It's just more fun. And it has a couple little tweaks to the code, right? It does script mining instead. It has a constant increase in supply as rewards to the miners, as opposed to Bitcoin, which does halving and eventually isn't going to have any more Bitcoin to give to miners. What's going to happen then in 120 years? We don't know. It's 120 years off. But I'm saying Dogecoin is going to be more profitable to mine because eventually, as Bitcoin continues to have, the rewards are going to get less and less. Now, people say, hey, but the price is going to be higher and higher. Maybe. We'll see. But Dogecoin just keeps doing its Dogecoin thing. So, if there's a correction before the big one, it's not going to be that low. Now, there's fears of like this US government shutdown, end of September, beginning of October. There could be a pullback on that. But if we can at least this week get back up 29, 30 cents, I'm not afraid of it going lower. But if we're going to just kick around in the 27s, we could pull back 26, 25. I mean, that could happen. So that's not, it's not unreasonable. Well, thank you, Tech. Appreciate it. I wish you well as well. Not a completely unexpected pullback. Exactly, RR. Not unexpected. Maybe a pullback by the end of the week, Christian. That's kind of what I'm expecting. I think we'll see some anticipation through the Fed rate cuts into the Dogecoin ETF launch, and then maybe a sell the news after. Right, not dumping. Exactly. Can I explain the relationship between Bitcoin dominance versus price? I've seen dominance go down, but price doesn't seem to go down. Yeah. So what's been happening, Bitcoin has been going up somewhat, and Bitcoin dominance is going down because the alts, that's all of the other cryptos, have been doing better than Bitcoin in price. So Bitcoin dominance can go down while Bitcoin goes up. Because look at Doge. I mean, Doge just went up like 40, 50%. Boom, right? This big run, 20 cents to 30 cents. But Bitcoin, in that same time frame, just kind of bounced around, went up a little bit, but Dogecoin outperformed Bitcoin. So what can happen when the altcoins do better than Bitcoin is you have Bitcoin dominance then going down. So there's Bitcoin dominance going down. Even though Bitcoin itself was just kind of bouncing around and going up a little bit, but we had ETH, we had Solana, we had Dogecoin doing better than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin dominance goes down while the big alts go up. So that's what that's about. And this red line is my prediction for Bitcoin dominance. So it's bouncing around the line. We'll watch it as it continues to do what I think it's going to do, and that's continue to go down. Now, we do have to watch for this potential pullback on October 1st. Again, something just to keep in mind, something that could happen. We don't know. U.S. government shutdowns aren't great things. But there you go, Ray. Does that help? Pangu pump tonight, pool man? I would love it. Waiting for the Pangu to pump back to 4 cents, and then we'll see where it goes from there. It's about 3.5 now. So yeah, it didn't hold support there at 3.6. 3.6 was my support line. It was higher lows, but now that's fallen down. Actually, yeah, Pangu dropped below the Friday low. It went even lower, where Dogecoin stayed even with it, the Friday low. So that's good for Doge, holding up well there. It's never smart to leverage Doge because the market makers can drop the price. Even if you're confident it will rise, the market makers can come in and drop it. Take out your trade. But that's just me. I'm not that risky of a trader. That's gambling. Bullish Billionaire, thank you. Smash the like button, everybody. How's everybody doing today? What's up, Cronos? How are you? Yes, I think we're going to go up tomorrow. Zamira. Duchess, a little late. Awesome. A special hug to PaxCat. Well, we'll see if he shows up. Profits into RLUSD. Why would I put it into RLUSD? I'm going to just put it into USDC on Coinbase, and I get interest from that right on Coinbase. Duchess has faith the government will not shut down. Well, did you see, right? The Republicans are now putting into the spending bill this whole thing about Russia and sanctions against Russia. In other words, they're mucking up the bill by adding things that maybe the Democrats won't like. And we'll see if 3 Republicans jump ship and vote with the Democrats, then it won't pass. So we got that kind of thing going on. Hey, Pups is here. Pups, how are your sheep bags doing? How are your sheep bags doing? Even when it goes down, sheep is down 4%, Dogecoin down 3%, which means the sheep Dogecoin trading pair just continues to bleed out. But hey, you do you, pups. Good luck on your sheep. Maybe one day you'll get some of that money back. Maybe one day. How about ADA? ADA was getting close to $1. We were like thinking, oh, we're going to get to $1. We're up over 95 cents. Oh, this was a big drop. 88. Well, it'll get back there. It looks like we're holding right now. Yeah, it looks like this was the Friday dip as well, right around 88. So it's holding 88. That's good. Again, if Bitcoin comes back up to 116, then alts will be saved. The magnet, yeah, the magnet's doing its thing up here at 30 cents. We need to get it going back up. I am not bearish on Dogecoin. Again, if you zoom out and you don't look at this immediate action, it's still very bullish. You just realized you had 99 cents in Robinhood, so you bought some Doge. All right. You bought what? 3 Dogecoin. Love it. You need Sheeb to come back, Honda? I know. Just get one green candle, right? Just one big green candle up and you can get out, right? It might happen. It might happen. OG Squirrel's a bear. 22 cents by Friday. Again, if Bitcoin stays up here, Doge is not going to 22 cents, Squirrel. If Bitcoin stays up here, Doge will not go to 22 cents. All right? You need one green candle for Trump token. Oh, yeah, Kilmar. Of course, you know what I did, right? I got out of this thing. Oh, back into the eights. Back in the eights today. This thing has just been doing nothing, right? Every time it gets a little run, people sell, trades down. Every time it gets a little run, people sell, trades back down. Every time it gets a little run, people sell, it trades back down. Kilmar, I just don't know if this thing is going to have any consistent buying that's going to keep it going up. There's so many people sitting there with heavy bags that can't wait to sell. Because you see it, right? I mean, you see it every time it's gone up here since the beginning of August, it goes back down. Every time. People are just selling, selling, selling. Every time there's a move. That's not good. That's not good. But hey, good luck. I mean, I want you to win. I want Trump token to double, triple in price. Awesome. Because that means everything's going up. I want everybody to make money. But the chart is not good for Trump token. The chart is not good. I mean, look at this. Since August, it's exactly where it was. From the 1st of August, the price is the exact same. Instead, if you had flipped that over to Dogecoin, August 1st, Doge was down here at 18 cents. So, the power of Doge. $0.50, Donji, it can. For Donraj, I mean, yeah. There's a lot of charts showing 50-cent Dogecoin in October. In October. If I buy this dip now, I will average my price up. Yes, Michigan accountability. So your choice is, right, if you're sitting on cash, right? You're sitting on cash. Ready to buy something, right? But you don't want to buy Dogecoin because it's a higher price that your average is. So then you don't buy. Then what do you do? Right? Because you're afraid you're going to raise your average. Meanwhile, Dogecoin goes up in price. So you would have made money if you had bought that Dogecoin. If you stay with cash, the cash never goes up because there's always inflation. Cash is always worth less. So think about that. Pepe will probably double in price, but I think that's about all it's going to do. It came back below 12. We were celebrating 12 here on Friday. That's 0.000012. We were celebrating that. Again, wasn't able to hold with the whole market pulling back. Pepe pulled back down into the 11s now. So we're going to watch if this gets up to 12. Again, still could go to 20, 24, something like that. You bought the Trump tariff dip. Awesome. Still in profit. Hey, Mars, how are you? Yeah, Pepe recovered well from the dip. And now it's just kind of hanging. Kind of hanging. Again, I'm watching the Bitcoin right now to see which way this market is going to go. How about Say? Cal? You can look at Say. Oh, Say is looking weak. 33 cents. It too is showing this double bottom though from Friday. Same price, so that's good. It didn't drop lower like Pangu did. So that's good. Say when on a big run here from the beginning of September. That's a pretty good run right there. 30% run. So again, just like Doge, right? This is a pullback from an overbought RSI. Very similar chart, actually. Very similar chart to Doge. So that's not bad. Well, we had about 2 weeks there, switch. We had about 2 weeks there where nobody was selling much Doge. And so Doge showed that big profit where Trump just is still the same as it was back on August 1st. And Doge is 30% higher. I don't follow Filecoin. So I don't know about Filecoin. I don't really follow it. 250. It looks like it's trading pretty much the same as Say did. Again, double bottom from Friday, same in recovery. It's just following the market. So that's not bad. That's not bad. You're keeping a single Trump token? I was not going to even keep one. I sold it all. I sold it all, not even keeping one. It's like, nope. Trump pissed me off back in January. He pissed me off again. And I'm just like, not doing it. Gone. Out. Out. Come on, Doge. Get back over 28. Will the ETF launch affect Dogecoin? Somewhat. I mean, it's not going to make it all of a sudden go to 40, 50 cents. I don't see that. So, but then there's probably going to be a sell the news after. Hey, Nelson. Crow has been very weak. Crow had too much of a big run here. Right at the end of August, Crow had too much of a big run. So it's been pretty weak in September here. It's now lower than it was on September 1st, but still much higher than it was on August 1st because of that big run. So I'm waiting for the next one of these and I'll take my profits on crypto.com token, the Cronos. So yeah, I do want to take profit. It didn't even cross my mind when it was up here at 35 cents. I was just like, I thought it was going to hold this level and kind of go sideways and chop around. Instead, it sold back down. So now it's chopping down in the 20s instead of the 30s. So I didn't even think about selling. Now, if we were in October and this happened, I might have. But since it was only September, we still have October coming. I was like, yeah, I'll wait. I still think the market is going to go nuts in October. Just what I'm looking at. So Crow will go back up again. Uh-oh. Little red candle there on Doge because Bitcoin has a red candle. Stupid Bitcoin. You're listening to Kriss buying Bitcoin. Hey, nothing wrong with buying Bitcoin. Squirrel, I just bought Bitcoin last night. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with buying Bitcoin. There's no falling wedge pattern forming. You're too zoomed in. The bigger formation is still up. We just looked at it. Which one did I chart it on? It was crypto.com, wasn't it? Yeah, this one. See? There's no wedge. There's no falling wedge here. Not a falling wedge. So the big picture is still up. Hey, Khan, how are you? You think Doge to 32 before the FOMC, and then it'll correct back to 28. We could see that. We could see that. Hey, Cybershots, you're welcome. I don't mind talking about what I own, what I bought, what I've sold. I don't mind sharing that at all. The pump 4-hour chart, yeah. Well, I mean, pump on any chart is good. I mean, look at the daily chart. It's like, whee! Why do you think I sold on the green candle? Look at that. Look at that on the daily chart. Now, I did identify this on the fib line here. I did identify on the fib line that we would possibly see like 9.6, but I just felt last night on that next big green candle was like, nope, I'm going to take my profit. It was new all-time high. And that last pump token that I bought down here was up 200%. 200% in about a month and a half. I was like, I'm booking that profit. I'm booking that profit. So that's what I did. But yeah, we could look at this on the 4-hour chart too, and like, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty sweet. Remember that green box I drew here? And I said that was accumulation zone. That was the buying zone for pump token. A lot of you didn't believe me. And I bought. Should have bought more. I mean, again, these kinds of things, again, I only use a small part of my portfolio. Again, it was selling the Trump token and rotating it into pump. And then it goes up 200%. I'm like, okay, I'll take that because Trump token isn't going to do that. The Trump token is not going to do that. Look at the 4-hour chart on Doge. That still looks good. That looks good. That looks like a dip and a recovery on the 4-hour chart. 2-hour chart, not bad. 30-minute chart, no, coming back up. Weak on the Trump token. It's just not a good chart. At what price levels gradually start to sell? See, wow, I'm not looking at price levels to sell. I'm looking at the news and the timing because I don't want to set a particular price target right now because we don't know where it's going to be next month. I mean, I'm waiting at least till October 18th. Where is Dogecoin going to be on October 18th? That's when the grayscale ETF starts up. So, and then I'll start looking at price targets. So, anyone not in Trump coin will regret it soon. Squirrel, stick to your Bitcoin, dude. Stick to your Bitcoin. That Trump token has the worst chart ever. This is one of those common pullbacks. Yes, switch. Still on track for big autumn. Yes. That's what I believe. I know, Johnny, right? You're way up and you don't consider selling. And that's on Crow, I didn't consider selling. Again, that was last month. And then last week when, this week when pump token started, I was like, okay, this one I'm going to take a profit on. So that's what I did. But yeah, last month on Crow, the thought didn't even cross my mind. Will Doge go to $1? Well, Anthony, that is the big question. Don't know. Now, if you look at my tweet this morning, this is one of my theories. So one of my theories of Dogecoin, if you guys don't follow me on X, Twitter X, you should follow me because I post some good stuff there. And this is the chart I posted this morning where I have this thesis, right? This theory that the big run that Dogecoin had in 2021 all the way up to 73 cents shouldn't have happened. That's an anomaly. Shouldn't have happened. Total blow off, all that Elon hype, like all of that, too crazy. It should have been down here, following this blue line. Every 4-year cycles, right? Should have followed the blue line, should not have done that. And now we're looking for the blue line in 2025 to be 73 cents. So we might just hit 73 cents. Again, I'm expecting a big run. We don't know if that's actually going to happen or not, but that would be interesting. So that's my theory on that chart. And some people are laughing at it. I'm just like, hey, show me a better chart. But some people agreed. They were like, yeah, we're thinking the same thing. They were thinking the same exact thing for 2021. No on $1. That'd be the most optimistic, ideal scenario imaginable. I don't see it. You think it's be lucky to hit 48 cents again. I'm a little more bullish than you, but I still don't see $1 unless Elon comes back and we get the hype again, like we saw in 2021. But if we don't get the hype, the Elon hype again, somewhere between 48 and 73 is probably most likely. Right, this is not alt season yet, way too early. But I did that with pump token just because it was all-time high, price discovery was way, way overbought. The RSI was through the roof. I mean, all the setup was there to take that profit. And so I did. I put it into Bitcoin, though, so that I can get the run on Bitcoin that's coming. I didn't go to cash. But I booked the profit on pump. Doge still bullish on the daily and weekly. Yes. And even now, look at us coming back up, about to hit 28 cents again. So this is looking good. Big picture, still a bull market. Yes. Buying anything below $1. Oh. The Flare coin is pumping. Yeah, I don't even do Flare. But if you've got it, awesome. Be silly not to own some Bitcoin. I think everybody should have Bitcoin in their portfolio. Yeah, if you missed the pump, you missed it. Don't chase it. Exactly. It's at all-time highs, way, still overbought. The RSI is way overbought. Don't FOMO. Exactly. That's Sonic. Agreed. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I know, right? Capo. It's still fun to say. Every now and then it was just like, oh, if I only could have waited one more day. It was the right thought, just a little too soon. Should have missed. Hey, Kriss, welcome back. We're here on a Sunday hanging out after the New England Patriots' big win today over Miami. And Miami's not that good. Their defense is hurting. We got a little luck, but you know, that's football. It happens. So, yeah, Yuli, I sold pump. I sold pump last night. I swapped it into Bitcoin is what I did. I swapped it into Bitcoin right here last night. All these green candles going up. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, new all-time high. Because at 69, that's when it hit all-time high, and it just kept posting new, higher, higher, higher. I was looking at the RSI, like totally overbought. And so I swapped it to Bitcoin. Bitcoin at that time was a red candle going down. So I was like, that's a perfect opportunity. Bitcoin on the dip and pump on what I thought might have been the last little rip there, because this is a 30-minute chart. The next candle was this big red one. It wasn't just because of my selling. Other people were selling too. But then overnight it went higher and then higher again this morning. And now trading back down. But yes, so I don't have pump token any longer. So the price was around 008. It was 0079 something. It was what I got on crypto.com. 0079 something. Yep. So don't have that anymore. You're all in on the Penguins. It's going to run. We are up too much the last week to be buying in majorly. You may be fine buying a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the major buying this cycle was 2022, 2023. The dips in 24 and plus the earlier dips this year from the tariff fears. But now we're in September, and I mean, some people may just be coming in and have a lot of money, and they're going to dump a lot into this. That's going to happen. You're just not going to get the same returns. For pump, you longed it, you shorted it, took profits, and then stopped trading. Yeah. Where I was fed up with the Trump token. So I sold Trump and I bought pump. And that was a great time to buy. You like Pangu? Yeah. Too afraid to buy in now. 3.5. Pump it up. Big run up. Hey, D community, how are you? Thank you for your continuing membership. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're zoomed in too much. Even a falling wedge pattern is like you're zoomed in. Can't rely on that. Yeah, we looked at Cardano yesterday. And then earlier on this stream, we actually looked at it. It got up to 95 yesterday morning, and then has been selling all the way down to 88. So looks to be stabilizing at 89. But like I said, $1 is going to be hard to get to, you know, it's going to be hard. Maybe October. Solana's continuing to come up, but now selling off. But yes, now Solana's, there's some profit taking going on Solana right now. Still over 240, which is its longer term support. So it didn't fall as much as Doge did. $10% scare dip coming? You think so? Wednesday will be volatile, but I don't think it's going to be like a 10% thing. But we don't know. But we don't know what the news is going to be, other than the Fed cutting interest rates, because that's going to happen. But after that, oh. I know, right, Con? There's going to be a lot waiting for $1. And I learned my lesson from 2021 when I was waiting for $1 and ended up round tripping all the Doge I had then, because I was convinced it was going to $1. And then maybe in the fall, when Bitcoin started running again, Doge was then going to go to $1. So no, not doing that this time. Oh, it was all Lloyd Ostertag's fault. To the moon! Yeah. Oh. In the Asia market in a couple hours, going to be some weird price action. Sunday nights, there always is. Maybe it goes up. Hey, Ryan, I'm not saying we're going to go down if the Fed lowers interest rates. I think we're actually going to go up. It's volatile. Some people say, oh, it's already priced in, blah, blah, blah. No, they announce lower interest rates, the market will go up. It's just what's going to happen after that. So it's not because of it. You agree, Ryan? Yeah, my thesis, my whole 2021 thesis. It's just one of those things. I was just like, and you know, the more I looked at it and the more I was like, this is a logarithmic scale. So it's based on percentage gains, not the actual price. But based on percentage gains, we never should have hit 73 cents. And it was all that overhyped Elon stuff, April and May 2021. Shouldn't have happened. So if you consider that, we should hit an all-time high this cycle. Anyway, it's a theory. Moon-deng. Hey, did Moon-deng sell off or is it still going up? Soft and squishy. I like that. Soft and squishy. Moon-deng. It's holding 21 cents. Nice. Look at that. That is a great, this is a great chart. Look at that. Goes up and now it's just holding. It's holding that line. That's pretty good. That is strong. That's what I was thinking Crow should have done, right? Crow should have had that big run up and then just bounced around, you know, up between 30, 35 cents, and it didn't. Crow sold back off. But this is looking good. That's a good looking chart. Moon-deng. Look at that. Doesn't give you a lot of good buying opportunities, though, to get in after the pump, but again, this is one of those that, it just did this big pump Friday into Saturday, 60% pump. So you don't want to be buying it up here. You just missed the big run. Go find something else. That's what I say. Go find something else. Well, that's just a shitty way to look at it. Crypto is a Ponzi. I mean, come on. Then what are you here for? We're all making money, but it's not a Ponzi scheme. You were expecting the pullback? Healthy pullback, yes. There wasn't any bad news. Not that I saw. I mean, we could look at the liquidations, right, in the heat maps, and we could see whether the market makers did this, right? And today on Bitcoin, there was no liquidations on Binance. None. Look at that. No liquidations on Binance. So it wasn't Bitcoin, or it wasn't the market makers, I mean, dumping to take out leverage. Dogecoin took out some long leverage. Look at that. There's some big ones. And then these guys came in and started shorting it, and then they got wiped out. You don't short Dogecoin. Not till 2026 maybe, right? Or after some huge, huge run. But this, now these guys are winning up here, up to 30 cents. But if Doge all of a sudden goes on a run and reclaims 30 cents, they're just going to get wiped out. Hey, over 28 cents. Look at that. The Boston Tea Party with the dollar Doge. Yep, 48 to 73. You'll stick with your 48-cent target. Gotcha, Johnny. Let's go. Thank you, Razorback. I don't listen to Ben Cohen. I am the opposite of Ben. You haven't been here. We talk about Ben Cohen a lot, and my thesis is different than his. He thinks Bitcoin dominance is going back up to 66 or something. I think he's pulled back on those comments and now is saying like 60. Which, again, if we have a government shutdown and the markets tank, the alts will drop harder than Bitcoin. So in that scenario, we could see Bitcoin dominance go back up, but would only be because of that, I think. But if things just keep going as they are, Congress passes the spending bill, there's no big black swan, Ben will be wrong. Kriss will be right. Anthony, when the Doge ETF, they're saying, the last I saw, they're saying on Thursday. So BTC trying to break 116. Oh, so close. Come on. Thank you, Abe. Getting close. Doge came back over 28 cents. Yeah, see, if you pick prices now, Razorback, 69 and 89, what if it doesn't hit 69, right? What if the highest it goes is like 55 or 59 and you're still holding, but you've got this price in your head that you want it to hit? I don't know. Nassim, you can make that decision. It's lower than it was yesterday. Yesterday it was over 29 cents. And it was over 30 cents even. So you're buying down here. Of course, earlier today we had a nice dip down to 27.4, 27.2 on the red candles, but H bar is still in the 24s. Yep. You think it will, William? Maybe. Again, a lot of people were saying H bar was going to outperform Doge when it passed it. And I said, no, Doge will catch up and go past H bar in price. And it did. H bar still in the 24s, Doge in the 28s. Again, just one of those things. Waiting for October. Me too, Christian. Floki, Litecoin, Cardano are your favorite alts. Floki, really, Chris? Well, good luck with it. Litecoin will do okay. Litecoin isn't going to outperform everything. It just doesn't have that kind of movement typically. I don't know Ronin. Oasis, the Rose token, it can go on big runs, but it's been rather disappointing this cycle because I was watching it. I owned some of it at some point in time. Sold it. I'm not going to change my channel to Bitcoin. I like what I have. I'm not here to get. My whole goal here is not to get the most followers. There's a lot of other people who do Bitcoin. I like Doge. It's fun, and Doge makes me more money than Bitcoin does. So I'll stick with Doge. I don't mind looking at Bitcoin. Hey, Bitcoin hit 116. Look at that. Woo! I own a lot of Bitcoin, so I'm good with that. But this channel focuses more on Dogecoin. Okay? And it's going to stay that way. The people who know. Like, if you know, you know. Doge. Doge is the next best thing. It is kind of the thing. It's its own thing. I can't do 4 or 5 year predictions from now. Impossible. Anybody who's giving you those predictions is just guessing. There's nothing that's going to tell you what the price is going to be 4 years from now. I'm not looking at any target zones right now, Kilmar. Let's wait until middle of October and let's see where we are. So this is the part where it's all based on the calendar, right? And the big event that's coming up middle of October. And then at that point, I'll start looking at target zones. Okay? Oh, Chris, I feel sorry for you being a Chicago Bears fan. You guys thought Caleb Williams was going to be the answer. Sorry about that. Hey, we got Drake May. So far this year, Drake May is doing much better than last year. So we're happy here. And of course, Monica is a Bills fan. Yeah, you guys have a great team this year. I predict that the Bills will be playing the Chiefs in the championship game again this year. Yeah, the Lions. Lions can score a lot of points. Pangu pump, is it? Are we missing a Pangu pump, or are you just hoping one comes, Marabella? No, not yet. It's just recovering. Like Doge. It's over 3.5 cents, though, so that's good. But we got a ways to go. The current position looks similar to October last year before the big pump. That's what Trader Allen was showing the other day. And I showed that on one of his charts. that there was a setup that looked exactly the same as last October. Yep. You're up 41,000, Kilren. 492%. That's nice. It's nice to have a portfolio that's in the green like that, isn't it? Anthony, you'll be happy with 60 cents. I think a lot of people will. That's a good price. Yeah. Russia said the US government is manipulating the price to help the US $300 billion debt. I think the buying will continue. The buying will continue. Jay, you are wrong. Doge does not need Elon anymore. Well, don't say I'm wrong because it hasn't happened yet, right? So you can't say I'm wrong. You can say that you don't agree with me, right? And you think it's going to do better. You can say that, but don't say I'm wrong because it hasn't happened yet, all right? If your opinion is different than mine, awesome. But I don't think we can go to $1 without Elon. That's just my thought, okay? Okay. Solana is not going apeshit. It's not. That's not apeshit. It went up, and now it's just bouncing around sideways. All right? Just to set that straight. Just to set that straight. You think the top was already in on Bitcoin? Hey, then I bought the top because I bought Bitcoin at 125. I bought the top. Yay. You are in the minority, my friend Chadwick. You are much in the minority. Yeah, 124.5. We'll see. Sometimes it crashes on good news. No, it doesn't. It doesn't crash on good news. It can crash on no news, but not good news. If they cut and he says we're cutting into a recession, that's not good. Yeah, but he's not going to say anything about a recession. There's nothing in the data that is pointing to a recession right now. So the odds of a recession on Polymarket now are really, really low. No one's thinking recession there. Will SHIB ever go to all-time high again? No, Anthony. That was an overhyped run back in 2021. Right. That's true. What everyone is sure will happen usually won't. That is true. Am I saying the coins is not done its run yet? I'm saying most coins are not done yet and are going to go higher from here. Yes, most are going to go higher from here. I know you're looking to buy back into Dogecoin. I know. Nassim, that's up to you, dude. Nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you what to do. But you know my philosophy on this, right? When you see the big red candles, you buy. We had a bunch of big red candles earlier this morning. This was the time to buy. You saw these big red candles. So the next time you see big red candles, if you're looking to get back in. Hey, XPO Army, Mac Jones. You know, Mac came to New England as a kind of a NFL-ready quarterback. But this was just a bad system for him. It wasn't a good system for him here. The San Francisco opportunity he has is awesome. It's a good system. It'll work for him. And you saw today, right? He played really well. So, yeah, he can be a good quarterback in the NFL in the right system. And the San Francisco system is good for him. So, yeah, the question is going to be when Brock Purdy comes back, right? And Mac is just playing really well and going win after win after win, then San Francisco has to think, well, was it really Brock Purdy or was it just our system and any good quarterback is going to work? Then maybe they look to trade Brock Purdy and keep Mac. I don't know. ICP. Jan, I have not looked at ICP in a long time. Never liked the project. Never liked it. $4.89. Oh, this is a terrible chart. Look at this. From December of last year. That's what it's done. Oh, but it's a buying opportunity. It's going to go up. No. It might go up a little bit. Maybe it gets back up to like $6, but it's never going back up here. $15, no. $10, probably not. Again, this is another one of those overhyped at launch. And the other thing is they kept changing like what they were about. Because initially they were going to be like the digital internet, right? Internet on a blockchain. What happened to that? Gone. Like now they're like AI. Well, that's not what they were before. And then I always ask, well, what does a stupid token do with AI? Nothing. Nothing. It's a joke. Jan, I hope you didn't buy a bunch up here because ICP is a joke. Just my opinion. But yeah, it's a joke. Awesome, Kilren. You paid off your credit card, paid off your car, you bought a gym. Awesome. That is awesome. Well, that is true too, XPO. It was the Saints. Even though it was in New Orleans, it was still the Saints. You know the Saints don't want to win, right? The Saints don't want to win. The Saints want to lose all their games and have the #1 pick next year. You do know that, right? That's why they had Spencer Rattler as their quarterback. Because he's not really good. They want to lose all their games and have the #1 pick. You heard it here. But Mac did throw three touchdown passes today. Yes. I know. Once the quarterback got paid, right? He got injured. Yeah, I agree, Johnny, with that as well. Any entry point is risky. If it goes in the low 20s, that would be great, but it probably won't go down there. Squirrel, you think Ben Cowan will be right? We shall see. William says Ben is a joke. He flip-flops all the time. I don't see him flip-flopping. I see him what they call moving the goalposts, right? He still has the general theory, the general idea. He's put some prices out there or some points out there, and then he moves those targets. He was right about the 60% Bitcoin dominance, though. That he was correct about. A lot of people were saying, oh no, Bitcoin's never going to go to 60% dominance. It did. So he's right on that one. But his theory right now, as we're going into alt season, I don't think is correct. I know Daryl's like all XRP. He mentions Dogecoin, but it's all XRP. And with all those crazy price predictions too. $100 XRP, like all that stuff. Hey, Daryl's having fun. He's living the good life. Nothing wrong with that. But I stick with Doge here. The Doge father, the original, the OG. Yes, Ryan. Oh. What is the optimal amount of coins that you should have? So, Gridex, that is a personal opinion. If you're thinking about just investing, the idea of investing is to have kind of a varied portfolio, not put all of your money into one thing. And that's for stocks as well. You don't just buy one stock, right? So why not crypto as well? So I'm going to end up maybe with 3. Once at the end of this cycle, I might end up with 3. I'll have Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and one other, and that's it. So we'll see. What's up, Ken? Buying at this point is a challenge, Gritex, because we're now in September, right? So you're not going to get the same kind of gains as if you bought back in April or last summer or the summer before when we were down in the bottom of the bear market. So you should not be having like 10x like expectations now. Every once in a while, there'll be something that comes out of the blue that does that, like Mix last week. We were watching that go crazy. Like every once in a while, there's going to be something like that, but you're not going to know which one that is that does that. So right now, I'm thinking I'm going to take risk off the table when we see big green candles like I did with pump token. I'm going to take the risk off the table and book profits when I can. That's what I'm doing. Doge only went up 25%. We'll see how it goes. My YouTube days. We'll see how it goes. But nothing else went up 25% when Doge went up 25%. Doge was outperforming, except for a couple other weird ones, right? WorldCoin was going up and Mix we had, but now that's pulling back too. Yep, Ken, it's great. Doge. Isn't that cool, Kilrun? You can say, yeah, look at my gym paid for in Dogecoin. Dogecoin paid for my gym. Weekend manipulation, Bitcoin going up. Yeah, it's quieting down a little right now. Up and down. Yeah, maybe before Christmas time, what are we going to see? Maybe Tesla, like the Tesla diner or the robo-taxi. Maybe they will be accepting Dogecoin. It's a lot easier to do that than to get it integrated onto X. But we'll see. Yep, start of the bull run. We're still in the overall bull cycle. Dan, what anyone considers a lot, it's going to be different for everybody, right? Everybody's in a different financial position. D community, my Doge accumulation has been consistent, betting on excellent returns this fall. Yeah, I don't know why you're thinking so much about recession. I mean, look what Trump is doing, right? With the low energy prices and all that. I mean, we already had a quote recession under Biden that spilled into the Trump presidency. But it wasn't officially a recession because the GDP didn't have like 3 consecutive posts of some number or whatever it is that is the official recession. The Biden administration changed the definition of what an official recession is and all of that. So, yeah. Yep. That's what I'm doing. Taking profit, funneling it into Bitcoin. Pepe, Sheeb, Bonk. We already talked about all 3 of them earlier. Currently holding Doge, XRP, Sheeb, Bonk, ADA, and a little Solana. That's a good portfolio, but you don't have any Bitcoin. It's always good to have a little Bitcoin in your portfolio. So maybe if like Sheeb goes on a big run or Bonk goes on a big run, you want to take a little profit and just swap that right into some Bitcoin. I think that would be an A+ portfolio. PaxCat actually isn't food obsessed like that, except for the frozen shrimps that Charlotte talks about. I made the mistake of saying that once, and now she's like, oh, Kriss, PaxCat likes the frozen shrimps. That's about the only thing. But he's not food obsessed. I like that about him. Doge, Bitcoin, and XRP, considering entering back into Pepe. Maybe. Am I going to host a dollar Doge party? Yes, I will. Yeah, Quack. This was Bitcoin. See the big red candles on Bitcoin pulled it down? That pulled Doge down. Yeah, I don't follow Brett. The Browns do that too, yes. The Browns, I mean, that whole like Watson thing, Deshaun Watson, like giving up your, half of your payroll for Deshaun Watson, and look what you got. The Browns. That's a Browns move right there. The higher lows. Yeah, I still got that. We still have the higher lows. We came up here. We got a double bottom, failed that. So now we've got a lower double bottom here from that line. That was my last white line there on the higher lows. So now this one was questionable because of the double bottom. And then we failed it. So now we got that double bottom. Now we can start moving higher. All good. That's the positivity in me, DB. Positivity. I know the Bears do not succeed. Hey, Nick gave out a membership. Awesome. Who got the membership? Quack. Quack. Hey, you're a member. Oh, and you found the Doge emojis already. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Nick. I used to own Ethereum Classic and I sold it for a profit and I will never buy it again. It's just not a big mover. And now it doesn't have Barry Silbert like buying a ton of it anymore. That was the big run last year or last cycle up to $100. It won't go back there again, I don't think. John, that's okay. There's no blame about anything. If your opinion is it's not the time to buy or hold, that's your opinion. I respect people's opinions. I like to know why you think that. By the end of the cycle, you'll be holding Bitcoin, Litecoin, Floki, ADA. You won't keep a little Doge, Kriss? Just a little Doge? Just a little Doge? There's no correlation between Dow Jones and crypto. I've never seen a correlation. There used to be one with NASDAQ. There was more like a NASDAQ and Bitcoin correlation, but then that got a little wonky this year as NASDAQ kept going up and Bitcoin went down. So, hey, good morning, Anthony. How are you, sir? Yeah, still too early for recession talk. Exactly. Yeah, he was just saying that he thinks that maybe on next Wednesday, Powell might say something about the chance of a recession. I don't think he's even going to say the R word. Now, if one of those stupid finance reporters asks, what do you think about a recession coming, right? Because that's what the media does, right? They ask stupid questions like that. We'll see what he says, but I think it'll be all right. Thank you, Anthony. Yep. That was a perfect representation of Charlotte. I know, Christoph, right? Exactly. Well, I first bought 500,000 Dogecoin back in January of 2021 at 2 cents. So that was my initial purchase, which was $10,000. Since then, I bought a bunch at 5 cents, 6 cents, 7 cents, 9 cents, 12 cents, 17 cents. Just, I don't know exactly. I actually got to almost 3 million at the top. I was just shy of 3 million Doge. Pronounce Expo. Oh, gotcha. Expo. Where's your next vacation? Good question. I don't think we're going anywhere in December. We don't have a vacation planned for 2026 yet, but I want to go down to Florida and visit my brother. And so that will I'll probably go to Florida sometime next year. And we're talking about Vancouver. That's still on our list, but that may not be next year. We'll see. You got 33 Doge left, Anthony? Gotta hold on to that 33 Doge, because when Doge hits $1, that's $33, right? 33. My $1 Doge party is going to be in Boston Expo. If other people want to have parties like in Vegas, I'll come, but I'm not hosting a party in Vegas. Yeah, a lot of the memes have potential. Floki is one of them. And it wouldn't surprise me if Floki, Whiff, Pepe, Bonk, like all of them do very well through the rest of this cycle. Don't forget to smash the like, subscribe if you have already subscribed. Thank you, Cronos. Yeah, I'm going to continue to hold Doge, and I will also continue to hold Bitcoin. I'm going to sell everything else. I'm going to swap some to Bitcoin, and I'm going to hold a lot of USDC. on Coinbase, getting interest on that because I still think 2026 is going to be a bear market. I'll at least be earning something. But I will not be holding Bonk. I will not be holding Pangu. I will not be holding, well, Peak, I don't know. We'll see how it does. Peak's doing very well right now. But everything else I'm going to sell. Yeah, quack. Bitcoin. If Bitcoin stays up, right? If it bounces off 116, continues to stay up, that'll keep Doge over 28 cents right now. Dips in Doge don't bother you anymore. Exactly. They're buying opportunities, right? Buying opportunities. I don't know why X payments or X money hasn't started yet, Jungle Boy. I don't know why. Again, I was predicting October, and I made that prediction back December and January. I said, yeah, if Elon's going to get around to it, it's not going to be early in the year, probably in the fall. So some of my thesis about Dogecoin going crazy was X payments or X money launching. Even if it's without Dogecoin, which it most likely will, Dogecoin will not be part of it when it first launches. But the anticipation that Dogecoin one day will be part of it will get people to FOMO into Doge. Yeah, never sell at all. Exactly. I just like, I will always have some. Yeah, can you imagine Powell says something about recession on Wednesday? I don't think he will. Michelle, I'm investing in Bitcoin and ETH, thinking to start buying Doge and XRP. Well, I am not an XRP fan. So, and I've gone into quite a bit of detail on that in the past. I don't want to go into that now. I just say do your research on XRP. How many tokens are in circulating supply versus the total number that were minted? Who holds all those? Ripple. When are those new tokens released? Ripple. Just do your research on that. And maybe you'll think twice about XRP. Doesn't mean you can't make money on XRP. I just don't like the project. And on Dogecoin, we had a beautiful opportunity earlier today on these big red candles. So look for the next set of big red candles. And that's what you want to look for to buy in on dips. If you see a giant green candle go up, that's not the time to buy. It's not the time to buy. None of that, of course, is financial advice. That's just what I do. Under 30 cents for Doge, under 4 for Pangu is a good buy. How about Bonk? So Bonk, anything under 0.00003 is good for Bonk. Anything under 0.00003. And now it's at about 25. Bonk has shown a little weakness here. Is not recovering as much, but it did have a nice run up here since the 4th of September. But yeah, this is all, I mean, if it dips back down into the 23s, that's probably great. Didn't quite make it on the dip today. Bonk. Bitcoin is not holding 116 right now. Stupid Bitcoin. Stupid Bitcoin. Faraz, you think Doge to $2? We shall see. Yeah, Gritax again. For some people need a whole Bitcoin, some people need 0.1, and for some people 0.02 Bitcoin is enough. Because financially, again, everybody's in a different position. So there's no way to answer that question. You think Sui is going to be the next Solana? Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. It's a great project. I made a lot of money on Sui. I still have a little bit left, but we'll be taking the profit. If Powell cut 50, well, let's call it the Fed, right? Because it's the Fed who does the cutting, not just Powell. He just announces it and talks about it. No, it has nothing to do with a recession. And it's going to be 25. They're not going to do 50. They're too conservative to jump right to 50. And there's no data that's so drastic that would cause them at this point to do anything more than 25. So you think the magnet needs to be moved a little over? Agreed. Gonna have to move it over. We got to get back to 30 cents. So the magnet stays up here. I'm not pulling it down. It stays up here. King Jono, how are you? You've got a gold stock, Barrick Gold Mining. You know, there are some people who say that they're not going to be sitting on cash during the bear market, but they're going to buy gold stocks. Gold stocks. That's an interesting thought, to hold some gold stocks through the bear market. And then when crypto prices come back down, then flip back to crypto. Interesting. You have the feeling the Fed's not going to cut. I don't think anybody's saying that now, Anthony. I think everybody's kind of on board with the 25. I do not see Mara going parabolic deep. I don't see the Bitcoin mining companies having that kind of a giant in the stock. I don't see that. It can do well, but not parabolic. Just my thought. I've watched those crypto mining stocks for years. They do move at times, but right now, well, Duchess, I hope people are able to come to Boston for the party, but I'm not expecting like huge crowds. But the more the merrier. For most of you, it's quite an effort to get to Boston. So even if Doge is $1 and you've made a lot of money, it's still an effort. I get that. Futures market is down. I thought it didn't open till 8. Thought we had 2 more hours. S&P futures. Dow futures are up. Russell futures are up. S&P a little down, NASDAQ a little down. So it's mixed. Not really down. I say mixed here. See that? And it's like 0.02%, 0.01%. It's nothing. So it's mixed. All right? When pump gets to your line, you're going to buy in again. I think I'm just going to stick with my Bitcoin. Thank you, Kriss. Appreciate it. DeFi tokens I don't follow here, Orhan. I don't follow them. I think most of them are garbage. There's a few that take off, but most of the DeFi tokens, you got to know before it drops what's happening. You got to be an insider to make money. Everybody else loses unless you happen to pick the 1 in a million that takes off. And it's like a needle in a haystack. No. So I don't follow them. I don't talk about them. $100,000 people at the Dogecoin party. That'd be awesome, but yeah, no. Yeah, the block size isn't going to change. It's not what Elon wants to happen. Elon just said 4 years ago that if Dogecoin became faster and cheaper, that it beats everything hands down. But Elon didn't get into the whole block size thing. So, and that's not going to happen. I mean, the miners aren't going to vote for that. You bought Combo. Yeah, never heard of it. But good for you. Bonk is a good buy now. I agree. Where can you watch the recording of this live? It becomes a video on my channel as soon as it's done. So you can see on my channel, my KrissPax YouTube channel, you click on live. These are all of my previous live streams. They're all here. So you can watch all of them if you want. Some of them are a little long. We've had some 4-hour ones. We've had some 6-hour ones. Mostly are between 2 and 3 lately. They all become videos on my channel. Squirrel. After all these years, can't get over 30 cents. Well, actually, last November, it went over 40 cents. In December, was at 48 cents. So it did go over 30 cents. But Ben is correct. Dogecoin is an oscillator, yes. And I've shown that many, many, many times. Dogecoin does not hold its big gains. Now, what we were seeing over the past couple of weeks is that for once we had Dogecoin holding gains. This big move up, right? There were no huge pullbacks, which was awesome. We had lower volume, and I was saying all along, this is really positive for Dogecoin to not have a big giant green candle up until that one. Saturday morning. Woke up to that big green candle, and the first thing I said was, uh-oh. Yeah, I said, uh-oh. And I predicted the drop back down into the 28s from 30. And it did that. Unfortunately, Bitcoin also dropped lower, which caused Doge to drop into the 27s. But that's it. That's not bad. It's not bad. So don't have to be so negative, Squirrel. Yeah, and the Fed Watch tool is 100%. There's at least a 25 basis point rate cut on the CME Fed Watch tool. 100%. What's that green line? Ah, aesthetic. The green line right there. Aha. That's why I have it on here so people ask. That green line that's right there, that is, if you go to my channel and you see on videos, you see my Dogecoin crypto 2-year outlook right there, that green arrow shows up on that video. That's what that green arrow is, which means by Monday, we're going to be hitting the green arrow, which means up. Hey, Ken, I did not hear about Robinhood Social. Interesting. I wonder how that's going to be set up. Is it going to be like StockTwits, where there's a chat under each stock and each crypto? That would be cool if they did that. Because StockTwits is just, I just can't look at it anymore. Robinhood might be a better platform to have good discussions, because StockTwits is just ridiculous. Interesting. But yeah, Ken, I would like to see a good place to chat about particular stocks and particular cryptos. And I think if Robinhood can do that and have, you know, good, smart people in there and not just a bunch of, I don't know, moon boys or bears. It's one or the other, right? That's how StockTwits is. You're either a moon boy or a bear on StockTwits. And I just got tired of it. If 2026 is going to be a bear market, why would people be buying now, knowing that by watching your feed, 2026 is going to be a bear? Because there's still an opportunity to buy and make profit the rest of this year. That's why. Buy now, and you're still going to make some profit. I think prices are still going to go higher than they are now for October and maybe even November. You're just not going to make as much at this point than if you bought down at the dips during the summertime. Pangu did drop a little. So at this point, I don't know if it's going to drop more. I want to see what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin is not looking good right now, guys. Bitcoin not looking good right now. We had these nice candles coming up, but nope. You'll be able to track whales trades. I don't care about that. But yeah. Yeah, you can track people you're following. I don't like that, Ken. I think that's kind of a dumb thing, actually. I mean, eToro does that. That was their big selling point, right? With eToro crypto, is that you could, or even stocks, yes, you could find somebody and you could follow their trades, you could mirror trade, and I'm just like, that's dumb. You take responsibility for your finances. You buy when you should buy, not when somebody else buys. Anyway, that's just me. No, Shafia, the ETFs are not going to be similar to Elon Saturday Night Live 2021. Not at all. Now, if Elon says something about Dogecoin in regard to the ETFs, then maybe. But I don't think Elon's going to say anything. Will all the ETFs pump it up? Yeah, without the X, right? 80 cents is my target if there isn't, Elon get involved in Dogecoin. So, 73, 80 cents in that range. If Elon doesn't do anything. Rate cuts is a certainty. Yep. Alrata. Bought Doge at 46. You have bad karma. We'll see. You people all need to sell now. That's so dumb. Seriously. Seriously, OG. We are small fish here. Even if you have 1 million Doge, it's still small fish. If you've got 2 million Doge, it's still small fish to the billions that are out there. Come on, think about it. Right. That literally makes no sense. Exactly. You people. Yeah, I caught up on that too. You people. Oh. Thank you, Cronos. Yeah, all I ask is for a like and for you to view my videos and live streams. That's all I ask. That's cheap. It just takes a little bit of your time and a little bit of an effort to hit that like button. It's not that hard. Subscribe as well while you're down there if you haven't already. They said it during the Hood Summit. Can track people. Yeah, I just don't like that. If they want a social thing, they need to have a chat, message board, not just following certain people's trades. Once all you people, love it, Squirrel, all you people. Oh, see, I just tell you guys what I do here. It's like, do I want people like looking at my Robinhood account all the time and following my... I don't want that. Should I sell my Dogecoin because the squirrel told me to? But the squirrel said... Oh my God. Oh, gee, puffs a lot of stuff. Oh, exactly. Do your trading your way. Take responsibility for your actions. Unless you copy Nancy Pelosi. Oh, hey, buddy. Hi. Hey, we got a cat visiting. Hello. What's up? What's up, buddy? It would be crazy if Elon joined a board of a Dogecoin treasury company. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Dogs eat squirrels. Right. You people goes along with buddy. Told you. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's on the list. They mentioned Pelosi in the Hood Summit. Did they really? I think it's a dumb thing. I think Robinhood could spend their time better doing something else. Yeah, Kriss secretly owns the Robinhood wallet. 25% of all Dogecoin. Us people are not selling. Thanks, Garden Overgrass. Appreciate it. I've kept you entertained on your drive from Tampa to Cape Canaveral. I hope to get down to Florida next year. So Florida's a big state, though. Every subscribe and like that I get, I buy more Doge. Oh. Thank you, Expo. Appreciate it. KP stock. Hey, we all win here. We're all winning. Love to the Pax cat. Yep. He's here. Chilling. Chilling. Why do you say that, Squirrel? Have you been following me enough? I don't think you've been here. You don't know what's coming, dude. You don't know what's coming. From now on, my dry powder just for Doge, Bonk, Pangu, and Pepe. All for the memes. I know, Yeely, right? Let's get those memes a-going. What's the Doge Fear and Greed Index? Let us see. $66, greed. We're still in the greed on the Doge Fear and Greed Index, 66. Come on, Bitcoin, get back up. Don't be a party pooper. Doge holding on to 28. Come on. Give me that dollar. Give me that dollar. Polka City? I've heard of a polka dot, but I've never heard of a polka city. They also mentioned building your own indicators using AI to code it for you. Again, something stupid, Ken, in my opinion. In my opinion, something stupid. Learn to read the charts yourself. Ugh. AI. Bum, 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 bum. Neither have I. You haven't heard about Polka City? I don't know what Polka City is. Come on, baby. Pump up the jam. Pump it up. Pump it up. Pump up the jam. What's moving right now? Pump. Still holding on to 008. Look at that. Monero is up. Monero. There's Flare. Someone was talking about Flare earlier. Meme Core, KuCoin token. What are the biggest dumpers? Form, Mix, Fartcoin, Uniswap, SPX, Sandbox, Virtual, Algorand, poor Algo, poor Cronos, Celestia, the Trump token, taking the L again. So glad I got rid of that thing. AI can be a great research tool, but don't turn off your brain. I know. I think both of those things that Robinhood said at the Hood Summit are just dumb. So, copy trading, AI bot thing for indicators. I'm using my own AI squirrel to tell me what to do. $1 Dogecoin will never happen. I didn't say $1 Dogecoin was going to necessarily happen either. But if Elon wants to buy my Doge for $1, I'd sell it to him. Sure. You already sold all yours? Well, your loss. Your loss. Yeah, good idea. You sold all your Dogecoin. I saw that. Cronos, the boo sound. I just don't know. Sandbox and Mana, I just don't think that it's going to happen with those. I just don't. Pepe, is Pepe bouncing? Yeah. Once it gets over 12, I'll call that a bounce. If it gets over 12, okay. But not right now. Stupid Bitcoin is just very weak. The squirrel coin is down 99%. Oh my God. Well, Orbit, you know I keep things real here, right? And if you look at my January 1st video of my 2025 Dogecoin price prediction, I had two scenarios, one with Elon and one without, because that's what you got to do. If Elon gets involved with Doge, it's a whole different story. It's time to buy the squirrel coin. Yeah, showing some weakness right now. All right, guys, that's what we have for today. Hey, Dogecoin, though, is in the green on this last candle, while Bitcoin's in the red. That's positive for Doge on the short term. Doge is holding up okay. Again, it's a retrace. It's a pullback. Doge was overbought up here at 30 cents. I'm not worried. We'll see how this is tomorrow. Again, I'll be live Monday afternoon. Make sure you're subscribed. Got your notifications on. Also, be sure to check me out over on X. That's right. I am at KrissPax here, where I also print other charts and other things. So check me out there. I hope everyone has a great evening. We'll see you next time. Got to get up to my ending because I love the ending, right? Don't you? Have a good night.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.